This episode of Gale Online asks the age-old question: can guns be cute? In this episode of Sword Art Online Alternative Gale Online, we finally learn about the legend of Len, the little pink demon herself. We get to see how she got involved into Gale Online from the beginning, and in doing so we get to learn about her actual personality in real life. In real life, she is known as Karen Kohiro Imaki, otherwise just known simply as Karen the Plain and Tall. That's pretty much the most distinguishing characteristic of this person. She's really tall, so much so that it actually kind of alienates her from interacting with a lot of other people, and it also causes her an extreme amount of anxiety, to the point where she actually has to resort to VR gaming in order to interact with people and also live out her dreams of appearing as a super cute anime girl who likes to shoot people in the face. So yeah, this is going to be a completely different Sword Art Online anime series, but you know what? I welcome it, because this was a fantastic episode. Not only was it action-packed and very cleanly animated, but we also got to delve a little bit more into what this series is truly going to do. It's not going to be like the other Sword Art Online series. I think it's going to be a little more casual this time, and it's going to be more about a person coming out of their shell and also trying to accept who they truly are. And they're going to have to do it through playing the game and meeting new companions and fighting against giant monsters, which I think is awesome. If I recall, I don't remember them fighting against any sort of monsters in the season of Sword Art Online with Kirito and Sinon and Death Gun. I thought it was just players versus players, so for them to introduce monsters into this is pretty awesome. It's also implied that we'll get to see some robots, so they've added some fantastical elements to Gale Online, which I cannot wait to see more of, because there's some scenes in this episode of watching Len fight against this giant scorpion, which just look all sorts of awesome. It's like playing like God of War or something. Like, it's a giant contextual event of her shooting off this thing's claw, running up its body, blasting its tail, jumping off of the piece of tail that was just blasted off before finishing it off with a massive headshot, all done in one clean motion, and it is awesome. I absolutely love it. If they make these things look this good, imagine what the actual player versus player battles are going to be like. The excitement is through the roof, but let's get back on track here. Basically, this entire story is a reintroduction to the main character of the series to see how they got involved with it. Karen, like I said, is not happy with the fact that she is very tall and towers over people. She just wants to be seen as a cute little girl by people. She just wants to be perceived as normal. So she turns to VR games in order to live out that fantasy. And she tries out a lot of games, even going back to LFame Online, but every single other game that she plays, she just ends up looking like some sort of tall woman, whether it be a racing game, a fighting game, or even one where she oddly looks like this weird form of Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. Seeing all these different versions of her was funny, but when she finally reaches Gale Online, she realizes that this is the game where she can live out her fantasy of being a cute, adorable little anime girl. And she is just totally eating it up the entire time. At first, she's just all about experiencing what it is to be like in a body like that, but she actually starts to get invested in the game. A lot of this is because she does go through the tutorial, which is really fun, where she is talked to by this woman who looks like a mixture of Cammy from Street Fighter wearing like BDSM gear. It's really awesome, and I don't know if this is like an NPC character, if it's an actual character, just sort of acting as the tutorial and trying to teach this girl, but it's a funny segment because the trainer's incredibly condescending and just making fun of Len as she's going through this and trying out guns for the first time, where she's really nervous, but eventually she finds that she's really great with submachine guns. And throughout the episode, we get to see her getting better with her skills, changing her outfit to be completely pink and look even more adorable, and even making a name for herself by taking advantage of this one landscape which has pink sand, and she's able to blend in because she's so small and actually wears pink clothes. She invites players in and then just takes them out before they even have a chance to attack. She becomes known as the Pink Demon, and she actually becomes something of a legend in this world for only playing in the game for 3 months, but she's still also trying to find a friend. That's when they introduce the other main character of the series, who is going to be this other player who goes by the name of Pitohui, or just Pito for short. And she's very different than Len. She's tall, she's super confident, she's really cool, she's got these cool tattoos on her face, and she seems to be proficient in using just about every single weapon. She's also also very mysterious. That's what I really love about her character, especially how the episode ends when we get this big like contest between these two characters of Len and Pito, where they're going to have a competition where they have to see if they can battle each other, and if Len is able to defeat her, they'll actually meet each other in real life. And that's because they've become such good friends with one another, so they're just waiting for that moment where they can see each other. Now, a lot of the mystery of this entire series, I think, is going to come from wondering who Pito is and what she actually is in real life. And I have a couple of ideas what they might be trying to do with this show. Despite the fact that this is a spin-off, we could be seeing maybe another surviving member of the SAO incident. She could actually be a player from that game, which could explain why she's so incredibly awesome. Or she could be like the exact opposite of our main character in many senses, where in real life she's really tall, in the game she's short, and this person in real life is really short, and in the game she's really tall. And there's also the possibility she could be this big pop star they keep bringing up named Elsa Kanzaki. They bring her up multiple times in the episode. It could actually be her in real life. It's hard to say. We haven't seen what Elsa looks like, so, you know, I don't know if it's modeled after that character or not. It could be even a member of Laughing Coffin from the original series. One of those creepy members could have been female and maybe even have some association with this girl here. I don't know. The possibilities here are pretty endless, and I really love that hook of getting to wonder who Pito is actually going to be. But really, this episode was just an introduction to this woman joining this game and trying to find the right game for her and actually becoming quite good at it. We even get to see her get her P90 for the very first time, which she affectionately names Peachon, which is just hilarious. The scene where she finds it and says that the gun is cute, I couldn't help but laugh at that scene. I don't know what it is, but a gun being cute, I don't know. It's just hilarious. This girl is great. That and her overall abilities are really fun to watch. The fact that she's super fast and utilizes that in battle in a number of different ways. Like, she fights against some soldiers in this episode and some monsters, and it all just looks great. So, what's the rundown on this episode of SAO Gun Gale Online? I'm liking this series a lot right now. It has nothing to do with the overall narrative of the previous seasons, but I am enjoying this story right here, which is going to be significantly, I think, a little more laid back in what it's trying to do, as it's basically a psychological story about this girl who has a problem with her appearance, and she's going to have to get over it through playing this video game. But also there's this brand new kick of her getting to meet this player in real life, and since they are best friends in the game, it makes sense for them to meet in real life, and the anticipation of getting to that is going to be really, really good. I can't wait to see how that character from the first episode, M, is going to factor into all of this, how they're going to introduce him into the show. Also, the fact that they brought up the squad jam again, that's going to be pretty cool, because it's pretty obvious that Pito is going to be a part of that squad jam, and that's probably what this entire arc is going to be about, leading up to their eventual confrontation and getting to see who's going to end up coming out on top. It's really tense stuff that I really like. You know, not the newest stuff that I've seen in the world, but the execution here is really good so far. Len herself is also just a funny character, how in real life she hates being so tall, despite the fact that she's a very good-looking woman, and the fact that she's a college student who wants to look like a weird, like, Japanese middle school character. Like, it's very strange. But, I mean, she really is a lot taller than people. There's a scene where she goes to a game store and she looks like an NBA player when compared to some of the people that she stands next to. She also has a really goofy friend who gets her involved in the game as well, and that could very well be Pito as well. She could just be a part of that game and she doesn't even realize it. That actually makes a lot of sense as well. I just can't wait to see more of where that overall story is going to be headed. Otherwise, this was a really good episode. I liked it a lot more even than the first one. In many ways, I kind of wish this was the first episode, but I do like that they sort of just threw us right into the thick of it in the last one to just sort of show us what the tension is going to be like when we have these big player versus player battles, which I can't wait to see more of. But I also want to see more monster battles as well. Really, my hype is really high for this show right now, and I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. I was sort of underselling it in my mind and thinking, like, this is going to be an okay show, but it was a pretty excellent episode right here, and if you're even a casual fan of SAO, I highly recommend checking out this spinoff. I'm giving this episode a 5 out of 5. I think it's got a really good angle, the production value is great, and the characters are lovable, so check it out, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it if you did watch the episode. Tell me in the comments section below, what do you think of the brand new SAO spinoff? Do you like these brand new characters and the story that's going along with it? What do you hope to see from the future of this series? Let's talk about it in the comments section. Let's start a couple of discussions, guys. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, Stay down now, baby.